You're still not better?
No, I got worse.
Do you have like the plague or something?
I just set it up.
Wait,
Okay.
1 second.
I'm on antibiotics.
It's just
All right.
I haven't made everything look good yet.
Really good ones. Propofol.
Oh, did you ask me a question? Does it remind some?
Our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, we'll find a friend to care.
We are Our Place Out Loud. I am your lovely and captivating host, Louise Palanker, here with our musical director, Iceman Rob Eisenberg. We've got Howard, who's our producer. We've got Jolene. She's, scurrying around the room, taking pictures, posting them to Instagram because all the kids are hanging on Instagram. You got to be hanging out with teens, You got to be doing your teen swing, hullabaloo, shindiggy, up in the teen swing thing, and get hip and down with the kids. We've got Montana, we've got Kimute, we've got Ryan, Olivia, Aaron Austin, Rory, and Jake in the studio. We've got Justin on deck. We've got Trish on jet. And, of course, we have producer Matt. And producer Matt has spent some time sleeping on a sand dune, I think, with a bunch of Boy Scouts. So he's going to be interrogated later in the show about that. No, he's not. He's a good dad. He's a Boy Scout dad, and we need more of that here in America. Good scouting saves lives. Isn't that true? All right.
I've seen it happen.
So we and while we're on the subject of life-saving changes, we elevated to moderator a lot of the teen panel in our app, which is Our Place. Go to the App Store if you're watching this online and you don't know what we're talking about. We are a social network for teens and tweens, and we're all about helping each other grow up and to have fun while we're doing it. And what's more fun than puberty? Come on, kids, give it a round of applause. Puberty is a riot. Exactly. So Ryan recently got a dashboard and has on board as moderator and immediately made some observations about sort of the way people behave online.
Yeah. There's a lot of different types of people with a lot of different types of behaviors, and it ranges from like totally awesome giving great advice to totally crazy just creating issues, which like I get the idea of trolling, but until I was a mod I never really experienced it because I was just someone poking around in the app seeing what's going on. But now that I'm like on the receiving end of it, like not on the receiving end of it, but hearing from everyone about what's going on.
You know what this is like? This is just like when your parents say to you, one day you'll be a parent, and then you'll know.
And still, I can't relate to that because I'm not a parent yet. But
one day you'll be a mod, and then you'll know. And we'll see. And what I mean is, you now feel that sense of responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so go ahead.
Oh, so there's just been stuff like, I don't know. I've been called names already, and it's just like so.
What names? This is fun.
Yeah. So yeah.
So they're mad at you.
Yeah, they're mad at me for telling them to take their kicks out of their profile, and because they want to have their kicks.
Kick is the world's most dangerous app. It might as well just be a knife that you download onto your phone that becomes an actual knife. That's how dangerous Kick is. So
but
don't
if it just
get
became
mad
like
at
a
us.
plastic butter knife, that wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, it could be a
Get the
plastic
job
butter
done
knife.
given enough time.
But all you have to do is say, click the I button, read the rules. No kicks allowed. We are not the rest of the internet. There are plenty of other places, and there's a nice way for mods to frame this. And you can even like type up like a little paragraph and then cut and paste it each time, so that you don't have to type it every time. But it, generally speaking, there's the whole rest of the internet there's the whole rest of the internet. You're gonna edit this, right, Matt? There's the whole rest of the internet on which you can behave dangerously. This is the one exception to that. There's Snapchat, there's Kick, there's all kinds of crazy apps where people are doing ridiculous things with people they don't know. We're not that place, so don't get mad at us for doing the right thing.
Yeah, and then also if you see something like a thread in at mods that just screams for you to like respond to, just don't jump in. Because that's how these like 35 post threads of just bickering and arguing, that's how they get made. It's just someone comes in thinking that their advice will help, and in a normal circumstance it would, but with a troll it's just going to keep going.
All right, so Olivia and I have come up with a new rule for the app mod section of the app.
If you are not a moderator, you cannot post there. You can't even agree with somebody else's post. Because I go in there and I see one person already responded, I'm going to think that it was Austin, Aaron, Ryan, Keo, Jake, and if it wasn't, then I'm not going to know that.
Same concept of Ask Jenny.
Exactly. I mean, you can be the
thing.
first
Also
post.
Jenny
What you mean, Olivia, is you can't respond. You can be the first post. and then leave and move on to the rest of the
Yeah.
app. But you cannot wage argument within app mods.
And if you go to app mods, please just read it. And if somebody already reported the issue that you're about to report, just leave it. We will get to it. Having 10 people report the same thing isn't going to make it any faster. We don't get notifications to our phone. That would be great, but we don't. So we have to go in and check on our own time, and we are people too. So.
Right,
Yeah.
mods are people too.
Mods are people too.
I'm actually a cat.
Get out.
So it's been pretty exciting, and we are at 888-531-7171, and we are here to take your calls. If you have been in the app and noticed some of the drama going on, sometimes I notice things are go in cycles, and summers and Christmas vacations tend to be kind of dramatic. So just don't get... Did you want to say something, Kio? Don't get too hurt if there's trolls in there. We don't even know they're actual kids. They might just be, professional jerks, and they go through the internet just making trouble, and the more excited you get, the more happy they are about it. Why would you want to give them that joy? So let's just report a problem and then leave the app mods section. It is not a place for discussion any longer, and we will be enforcing that rule. Okay, so I guess Montana read this question before she came here, and she said, Wheezy, what does it mean? And then I reread the question, and I realized that Montana has an excellent point. This question does not make any sense. And I guess I had read the question quickly, and I had just gotten the gist of it, which is that someone had created a fake Instagram that was a cute boy and that was liking a lot of her friends' pictures and then liking her pictures to make her friends jealous. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So we won't read this because there's not any punctuation, and it kind
There's
of like
one
even using the
period,
word
but in the middle of a sentence.
even using the word typo is offensive to actual typos. That's how badly this is typed. But the gist of it is that she has to go to school. The parents are onto her, and that she's going to have to tell the truth. And she has been. Subsequent to this post, she's been resistant to my advising her to just come clean and tell the truth. But it's almost like the more she lies, the worse it gets.
Well, and she's saying that her friends want to know what really happened tomorrow. Well, tomorrow from when that was posted. So she was
Right.
having trouble sleeping because she was scared of what was going to happen the next
Right. So I don't know if you guys have seen the show Catfish, but it kind of really illustrates how flagrant this behavior has become of pretending to be another person, because you maybe don't feel powerful as yourself, but as another person you could receive the gratification that you're seeking, either making friends jealous or having someone fall in love with you or whatever it may be. The temptation to play with people's lives and create someone who doesn't exist is very great with the current technology. And what do you guys advise for someone who's... I mean, we had that situation with Don't Hate the Awesomeness, and where she was pretending to be Kyle, and now she's Emily, and I think she's much happier being herself. But what do you guys advise for people that have dabbled in catfishing? Do you tell the truth, or do you just delete the profile and pretend it never happened, or how do you break yourself of this habit, Olivia?
I feel like it depends, how deep you are into it. Because, if you just made an Instagram that was some random boy you found online and then liked a couple people's pictures, it doesn't really matter as long as people didn't really notice. They were like, oh, it's just someone else followed me on Instagram. So then you can delete it. But if you've started talking to people and these people think that you're real, you have to tell them that you're not.
Right. If relationships have developed, you absolutely have to tell the truth, or it's going to get eventually worse. There was this movie, you guys, and it was what was the name of the movie? Cyberbully or something like that? Did you guys see it? It was a Lifetime movie. It was so
I know that
good.
it existed, and then a bunch of shirts were made about it.
Yeah.
And then it was bully on the shirt,
Yeah.
and people wore them.
Was Tori Spelling
No,
in
that's
it?
the bully movie. Tori Spelling was not in this one, but and neither was Melissa Gilbert, sadly. But
It was
It wa-
Emily Osment, wasn't it?
it was Emily Osment.
She's the one who was on Disney Channel, right?
With
yeah.
Hannah, yeah.
So her best friend was pretending to be the kid who was bullying her. I don't know. It got really crazy, but it teaches you that when this stuff starts to escalate, you're drawn to it, even though you know you're going to get wounded every time you open your laptop. The kid knew she was going to get her feelings hurt, but she could not pull herself out of the conversation. She couldn't close her laptop. She couldn't turn it off. She was addicted to knowing what people thought of her. And so do you guys have any advice on people being drawn to online drama? Ryan?
I don't have much of an advice answer for this, but just my analysis is that people are always drawn to what people think of them, and the internet allows people to share that, but it also allows people to share that from the mask of someone else, behind a different face. And so when you have a fake account, so people can say something about you from a fake account, you want to hear it, and they're relentless because it's not actually who they are who's saying it, and you want to hear it because people are always drawn to what people think of them. It's always been how people are. We always are.
So when you create a fake account, you're Teflon because they could say whatever they want. It's not really you.
Yeah.
That's part of the attraction.
And you can say whatever you want, and they don't know it's you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look how easily Manti Te'o got sucked into that whole thing. That was a catfishing thing.
Yes, that was a catfishing thing.
I wish we had more info on that.
I wish we did. So let's research it and come back next week. Who else wanted to talk? Whose hands? I can't quite see Aaron. Is your hand up, Aaron?
It's Austin.
Austin?
I think if you're this addicted to creating fiction, create literary fiction. Write a story or something, write a script, just get it out somehow else. I've heard of people writing stories that are, I'm not just heard of, I mean, I know people do this, write stories that are very closely related to their own life, and that helps resolve a lot of their emotions, and pretty much what you'll get out of, the good things you'll get out of making a fake account or something, you can get out of this, and then you can actually share people with it and be rewarded for it in the end instead of punished.
And you can learn the word semi-autobiographical, which has a lot of syllables. Montana.
Oh, is this gonna fit? Okay. What I have to say about it is why would you go online and create a fake person when you are in fake drama when you probably have if you go to high school or middle school, there's probably enough drama anyway. Just learn to deal with that. And well, I guess this is kind of good practice for it, but you also have to remember you could be hurting someone deeply, and you should do something that doesn't, I guess.
Exactly. Use your powers for good.
Mm-hmm.
Kyo.
I think that being anonymous is kind of like putting on armor and or putting up a shield, and it makes you feel more comfortable, but if you're able to just put yourself out there and be sincerely yourself, it'll make you a lot stronger and a more likable person, and everything. It'll make you a better person, I think, and you won't feel bad. You won't even have a little of that empathy for the other person if you're tricking that other person, because there comes with that too. You feel like you're tricking someone, and you probably just ignore that, but it's not really a good thing to do. Yeah.
Do you wonder what Olivia thinks?
Yeah.
I was hoping you did.
This just kind of reminds me of Formspring. I don't know if you guys remember that. I don't know. I don't internet really, but so Formspring, my sophomore year, everyone got one, and then people were awful to each other. I mean, just really awful. But it would be under anonymous. What?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, okay. So it's a website.
Like Ask.fm.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what that is.
I think that's what it became.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so you would just go on and you could post as your your username. Mine was my same thing as our place, so live bet. That's my thing on everything. Or I could click I want to ask this as anonymous, and then people would just be horrible to each other, and they're like, "You're the worst person I've ever met in my entire life, and I hope you die." And then someone would have to read that and then answer it. But so one day, I guess there was one of those internet rumors that get out that Formspring is going to release all the usernames of the anonymous users so that you could see who asked the question.
Oh, that's the best rumor in the history of the internet.
It got around so fast, and everyone at school that day was walking around with white faces, and they were just like, "Hey, I think you're the greatest, right?"
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, and there's the worst thing about it is when you answer, it also publicizes the question and the answer. So it'll be Wheezy answered this question, and it shows you what someone said about them and how they had to respond to it. And the fact that it's just an opportunity to anonymously insult people.
Okay, so just how you understand how we were able to be almost this cruel when we were your age without technology, it was called the Slam Book. And what you would do is you would write the names of the different kids in your class on different pages of a scrapbook, and then you'd pass it around, and people could write whatever they wanted about that person and not sign it. And there were a lot of tears.
Like
Go
a
ahead,
burn
Montana.
book.
Yeah, a burn book, yeah.
I was just gonna say, you had the real burn book?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Was it
I mean,
pink?
terrible, but like,
I don't know who started it, and I wouldn't write in them other than, you're awesome. You know, which is how I grew up to be who I am, which
well,
is
that's
like,
good.
you know, someone with integrity. Yeah, Rory's got his hand up.
I was just going to say, if you really want to go online and just be awful to one another, the probably least harmful way to do that is just go, like, play Xbox Live or some kind of video game where you can just be horrible to each other and there's really, it's just whatever.
But what if you play Xbox Live and you're like, hey, good shot. Way to go. Attaboy.
Well, they usually make fun of you.
Yeah, really, they make
They'll
fun
usually
of you.
just make fun of you.
They make
They'd be
fun
like-
of you no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're so nice. What's wrong with you? That
Jake,
kind of
did you
thing.
want to talk?
What?
Hi, Jake.
I have
Did
a
you-
camera and mic apparently.
Do you have any thoughts
and I'm just a
about
little floating head.
internet cruelty?
My favorite thing to do on the internet. I don't know if I'm okay. When I was
Reddit?
good, okay.
Reddit is your favorite
Uh,
thing on the internet?
No, back in middle school, I remember there was a lot of like Xbox Live, and everyone was crazy into it, and we're like, "Oh, we're gonna go do clan fights and all this serious stuff." And me and my friend Will, we would just join the chat and go, "Meow, meow, meow," and we would sing entire songs like duets, but only in meows. There were no words, and it just makes the whole level of like angriness. You can't be angry at that, really. It's hard.
No, it
And it just brings
diffuses
everything.
it.
Once you're silly, there's no more angriness.
That's right. Silliness diffuses anger. Ryan.
For the most part. I agree with that for the most part. I was going to say, well, I won't get sidetracked with that, but I was going to say the burn book, which is another sidetrack of what I'm about to say, is that it reminded me of this episode of Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide when they have a burn book, and it makes everyone really sad, but then, like, names got confused, and, like, someone switched the wrong thing with someone else, and it was like, ah.
Have you seen the video of him waxing his chest?
No?
It's it's hilarious. He's just sitting alone waxing his chest.
Uh-oh. That's a mental image that's not going to fade quickly. All right, we're going to move on to the next question, also from Anonymous. Hi,
Wait, Weezy, one other thing is the fact that in the app we have an entire role-playing section for when you don't want to be you, and you can just interact with other people who are also not themselves and just, like, be
yeah,
silly.
but it's still your screen name, so...
Well, no, of course, but like,
even-
it's not acting as yourself is the main
No,
thing.
and even all of our place, you have a screen name, and no one, if people don't know who you actually are, they don't know who you actually are. So on our place, you can be as anonymous as you choose to be, depending on if you share Instagrams or whatever with people. All right, Anonymous writes, hi, I have friends, and they think that I flirt with every guy that I meet or the guys that they have introduced me to. Just because I talk to them, what do I need to do? So my issue with this is, like, if you're hearing the same piece of news from everybody, it might be true. Montana.
well, if you're actually just talking to them, just don't listen to your friends. Don't be friends with 12-year-old girls. And if you're right, well, I mean, if they're right, like, why do you have a need to flirt with everybody you meet? That must get, like, really tiring. And if... What?
Be exhausting.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, Ryan.
I was going to say I found this picture the other day that says being polite is so rare these days that it's often confused with flirting, and it's totally true. Like being nice now is just taken as flirting, and it's really annoying.
You know, I don't think that things have changed that much because my friend Feeney was awkward in school, and she's also like super sensitive as a human being, and so she said that when someone was nice to her in high school, she would start crying because she just couldn't believe it. Yeah,
So sad.
Was it like tears of happiness or tears of like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well that's good.
like she just because overwhelmedness.
But for me, like if I've just met you and you're like at all semi kind of nice, I'm like happy to talk to you and happy to have. I'm just like an ecstatic person with people I meet. So people are always like, "Oh, you're flirting." I'm like, "No, I'm just talking."
So
That's all it is.
But do you guys think that overall the internet has enabled more helpfulness or more hurtfulness
Oh, it's gone both ways.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more help and a lot more hurt.
in both directions?
Yeah.
Keo?
It might be that a lot of these guys start to like the girls, and like so it gets taken as her flirting with them when they start developing feelings.
Well, I think that some girls who don't have this is not me talking, it's Oprah, so forgive me, but some girls who don't have a good relationship with their father have never learned how to have a good relationship with a man that isn't sexual. So their only way, or the only way that they know how to interact with a male person is using their sexuality or their feminine wiles, if you will. And I think she could work, if she's hearing this news from a bunch of different people, that she could work on it. It's just something that after a while you just want to listen and not always be mad at the same message. Stop and go, is any of this true, or could I tone? Because you're not going to have any girlfriends if you flirt with every guy. And even the guys might turn away because their girlfriend doesn't like you. Like you have to temper the way you behave in the world and be appropriate to the situation and to the relationship with each person who comes into your life. Whose hand is up? Olivia.
Like, I was accused of this a lot in middle school just because I don't have a problem talking to anybody, but so many girls had problems talking to guys. Like, they wouldn't go up to them, but I would, and they're like, you're just a flirt. You flirt with everybody. And I'm just like, no, I'm just able to talk to them, and you're not.
That's true. Like, if you're 12 and you're the only girl who's brave enough to talk to boys, then everyone really could say that to you, and it's not true at all, Austin.
I think as a piece of general advice, not just for people thinking or flirting, but for life in general, I think people are going to think things about you that are wrong, and you're not going to be able to correct every single thing someone says. Like, I hear people that might think something about me, I'm tempted to say, oh, that's not quite accurate or something like that. But when it comes down to it, people have their own perceptions, and you just have to accept that, because you can't make everyone think the correct thing about you, even if it is the correct thing.
You just keep doing what you do, and eventually the truth surfaces. And I just find that if you're nice, like, you know, you will get past an age where people confuse niceness with flirting. That's an excellent point that you made, Ryan, because it's just really hard to be nice without feeling vulnerable, like you're gonna be attacked. So everyone gets an edge to them, and that's why we created our place, as a place to be nice where you're not gonna get attacked. And it's like, hopefully it's relaxing and rewarding and kind of a relief from the whole rest of the internet. We would love to hear from you. The phone lines are open. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. And this question is for the boys. And which boy have you written a song for recently, Iceman? Because I'm going to let that boy read the song, and then you can play them in. Read the question.
Well, we've got a fresh song for Austin, actually.
Okay, so Austin, would you, after Iceman plays your new theme song, would you please read Enrique's question?
All right, so you're going to help me sing this, too, I believe.
Wait.
Oh, really?
Here we go. And feel free to applaud when it's over. If you want some real good talking, here's a cool guy. Name of Austin gives advice. And his glasses are nice. Now here's Austin. Oh, now here's Austin. Hey.
Thank you.
He does have nice glasses. If you see his glasses, they're gorgeous.
The greatest lyrics ever written in the 21st century, and his glasses are nice. Give it up for that. That's poetry.
I wish I had glasses like that when I was in high school.
All right, Austin. So take it away with Enrique's question.
All right. I need help on puberty, like how to keep myself up, and I have freshman year starting in September. I don't have a dad to talk to about this stuff. I have a mom, and she works a lot.
Okay, so not being a boy and not ever having been a boy or a man, beyond use deodorant, what does he need to know? Boys?
Boy, it got quiet, didn't it?
Okay, so I guess I'll address what I think is the elephant in the room, or at least the elephant in my head. What does he mean, how to keep myself up?
No, he didn't. I don't think he meant... I don't think there's a problem with that at 14.
Okay, so now we all know what's on my mind.
I'm taking my song back after that comment.
What does he mean by that?
I know that... Jake and Ryan, you had the advantage of the puberty guy. So there was someone at your school... Doug the puberty guy.
Doug the puberty guy was the puberty guy in middle school?
Puberty guy.
Doug the puberty guy.
Which guy was that?
He's now the head of our school.
Oh,
See?
Doug. Okay,
Doug.
Doug.
He was
Okay,
the
yeah.
puberty guy
Yeah.
when we met him in middle school, and then he became head of school. So apparently that's
and
right
they
underneath
showed-
head of school.
And they showed it. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
It
So-
was.
If you don't have, if you didn't have the advantage of Doug the puberty guy to help you with puberty, what can we tell Enrique? Okay, Kyo?
Wait, so he's basically asking how to be hygienic?
Yes, I think he
Okay.
is.
think he means just keep up with the whole idea.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
I think he meant like keep himself looking nice. Maybe he means shaving.
Okay.
Maybe he means deodorant. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, deodorant solves about 90% of it.
Manscaping.
And showering. Yeah. Manscaping. Yeah. Yep. What else? Olivia, you know a lot about male puberty, right?
No, I mean, like, I guess you could like go on YouTube and like watch like shaving tutorials or just like Google it.
No, if you Google it, you might find some really weird
Well,
stuff.
I guess like cut your nails and then file them down like a little bit so that they don't get gross and long, because that's always gross.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a puberty?
Dig the dirt
I
out
don't
from
know.
underneath them.
Yeah.
Dig the dirt out
no,
from underneath
my
them.
brother doesn't do it, and he won't do it unless he's told. He's
Okay.
like, no one's looking at my hands.
Oh, Olivia, the elephant in the room is the stash.
Well, yeah.
The 14-year-old stash.
My brother, my
The
brother's
fur,
is
the fuzz.
blonde, and it
Yeah.
looks like he has a dead caterpillar,
They're
like right there.
They do not want to shave. Is it that they don't want to admit that they need it, or they don't know how?
No, they're
What
so
is it?
happy that it's there. That and it's the feeling that if they get rid of it now, it'll be so long before it ever comes
And
back
you
again.
were
if it ever
the
comes back.
worst culprit of this, Aaron.
I know. I feel awful. I'm looking at all these pictures now. Like I'm in my dad's office, and he has like his screensaver with all the pictures from when
Why
I was
didn't
like 2 or
someone
whatever.
say something to you? It
I
wasn't
don't
my
know.
job.
I don't know.
Austin.
I am completely guilty of having the 14-year-old stash. When I was a teen, and up until pretty recently, I had really big hair and this thick mustache, like since I was like 14. And this one guy in middle school told me, "Oh, you should shave your mustache." I was like, "But that would look weird." And he's like, "No, do you know how weird it looks?" And he was totally right. I wish I had taken his advice.
That's what you need. You need someone to just say, and I think I said stuff to you, Aaron. I don't even remember. I think I was kind of...
I'm sure you did, but you were probably the only one.
All right,
so.
Ryan?
No, I definitely shave it because it's terrible. But and I had it too, and everyone has it. But try and use an electric razor because you will cut yourself if you use a regular one. Like it just takes experience and practice.
Yeah, because there's like a little kind of like...
This thing's called a fulcrum. I learned that last year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And delicate area of the...
And it gets caught in the razor and it hurts a lot.
Yeah, it does. It hurts out. Ooh, I don't want to picture that. All right, so we're moving on to the next... Oh,
Can I add something real fast?
Oh, you've been a boy.
Yes, I have, and still am.
Yes.
This is not a hygiene thing, but just an emotional thing, because I remember when puberty came calling to me, I became a real jerk to my parents. I mean, nothing they said was right. If my father asked me a question, I said, "Leave me alone," even if it was like, "How are you?" I just that's something to really be aware of. Don't let the hormones screw your brains up so that you start insulting the people that really care about you and want to help you through this very difficult time, because it will happen.
Well, I think the reason you get defensive is not just the hormones. You just think that nobody's going to ever understand what you're going through, so why even try explaining it? It's all too embarrassing. So you just become defensive to sort of try and figure out who you are and build that fortress, but it's not necessary. Your parents are your biggest fans. We are Our Place Out Loud. I am Louise Planker here with Montana, Kiamute, Ryan, Olivia, Aaron, Austin, Rory, and Jake. And we would love to hear from you and make you part of the show. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. Reading a question. Who else do we have a song for, Ice?
Well, we have one from Montana we haven't
Montana, would you like to read the Mad Mo Gots a question?
Okay.
Okay, wait for your theme song.
Wait, I have to sing your 60-year-old theme song first.
Okay.
Let's see. Now we are gonna hear from Montana.
Ooh, the phone's ringing. How exciting. Go ahead,
Look at
Montana.
that,
Oh,
huh?
should we do the
Big
phone?
Paul
No.
Anka fan.
Okay.
Oh, it was Diana by Paul Anka
Okay.
of the Canada Ankas. Go ahead.
Okay. Madmo Gots a question. I like your name. Okay, so a couple days ago I sent a video to my BFF, and she replied back saying, and this is all caps, I'm not going to scream it, "Keep it cute or keep that shh on mute." It made me upset, and I told my mom, and my mother told me to reply, "Be nice or don't talk to me." And she replied with, "Okay?" Like, question mark. It was just a quote. I haven't replied to her since. My family always thought she always treated me bad. Should I reply back to her? If so, what should I say? What should I tell my family? I don't want to not have a texting buddy. What should I do?
Okay, first of all, let me just start by saying, why do people think it's okay to be rude as long as it rhymes? Who made that a rule? Ryan?
I don't have an answer to that, but because I was just gonna say I don't really know the context that well about what was sent. If you said something like, or if you sent like a video or something, and it was like there was cussing or something, then I think it's appropriate to say keep it clean. I wouldn't say that you have to cuss back because
She said
that
keep
kinda,
it cute.
Oh,
Keep
well,
it cute,
but I
or
think that's the same
keep
point.
that shoot on mute. And I think a lot of people have been sending Snapchat videos and stuff like that, because I hung around with an 18-year-old all weekend long while he went to his college initiation or whatever they call it.
But like, what's the context there?
But
like,
he
why?
was with the Snapchat, all weekend long, where he has like a group of like his best friends, including his brother and his girlfriend, and he just makes funny little 12-second videos, and she wants a buddy to do that with, and you should get to do that with your friends without somebody hurting your feelings in response. And I agree with her, Kyo.
Again, I don't really know the context, but it seems like this friend is referencing to something that was said, like something she watched or something, and then she felt like she could apply it, and she thought it would be funny. I don't know if she really intended to hurt this person's feelings.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Like, I think that it may even just be like, I'm saying this line, I'm assuming you saw what it came from. Surely you'll find this funny. I found it funny when I heard it and when they said it. And it wasn't aimed at her. More like, hey, do you remember this? This was cool, even though, like, the problem came in she didn't actually know what it was from or hadn't heard it before, so it felt like it was aimed at her. So she's like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you. It was just a quote from something I saw that I thought was funny.
As soon as you put a curse word in your little reply, I think it's hurtful. I think if I received a text that said that, in other words, shut up. Basically, this says shut up.
Right.
So if I sent someone a funny video and they wrote back, shut up.
Like, the context is important.
Well, I mean, shut up can be funny, I guess. All right, Olivia.
It depends, like, how you say it. Because, like, if it's like, no, shut up, or if it's
Right.
like, nah, shut up.
Right,
It depends, and you don't know that over text. You can get into entire fights over just how it was meant to be said.
All right, let's see if our caller has any thoughts on this. Hello? Hello?
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Who's this, please? Oh, it's Maddie. Hi,
Maddie.
Maddie. Where are you, girl?
I'm in Michigan.
Yeah. Are you at family camp?
I am.
All right, so I have a Michigan mission for you.
Really?
Really. You're
What
going to
is
tell
it?
everyone at family camp about our place. Right?
Yeah?
You do it in the morning when people wake up. What's the bugle that they play in the morning? And then you'll be like, your attention, please. This is Maddie Miller from Our Place Out Loud. Everyone, please download the Our Place app and make it a great day at family camp.
Top of my list.
Oh, good. She's got a list. So you've been to South Africa. Fill us in.
So I left last Thursday, and we flew from LA to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta directly to Johannesburg.
Wow.
And I stayed in South Africa for a week with my mom's sister,
Mm-hmm.
and she has two daughters who are older than me. They're 18 and 22, I believe.
Yeah, but they all look just like you.
Yeah, apparently my dad says that we all look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. It's true. So you had fun, and then you flew back to Michigan. How do you get from South Africa to Michigan? Or is it possible?
Well, we just went back through Atlanta.
Okay. So are you at family camp yet?
Yeah, I'm actually there right now. I'm sitting on the couch watching the campfire from inside.
Oh, that's how I do camp. I look at campfires from inside. That's
yeah,
the camp I want to go
the
to.
bugs are so bad, and it's kind of loud out there.
Oh, Ryan would like to talk to you.
Put a dryer sheet in your pocket; it'll keep the bugs
yeah.
away.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really?
You put them under the tablecloth if you have food outside, too.
Mosquitoes hate dryer cloths.
They don't even need to be the scented ones.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a good
that's so
tip.
cool.
Yeah,
I will
that's-
definitely try that.
That's a really good tip. And so what fun adventures do you guys have lined up for family camp?
Well, actually, just today, my brother and I went inner tubing on the lake.
Ooh, so fun.
We got thrown off by my dad
Uh-oh.
like 3 times in a row
Were
because
you
he
guys
decided
smoking?
to go in the circle of death like
Oh.
4 times.
Uh-oh. And you're not supposed to?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, wait
It
till
was
Jake gets
interesting.
there.
But
Jake-
it was fun.
Jake's going to make sure that everyone behaves. You know, he's all about that.
Right, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Olivia?
What is family camp?
Yeah. What is family camp, Maddie?
So I guess the technical definition of family camp would be just like, it's kind of like summer camp. Basically what they do is they offer a place for you to stay, and you rent out the condo where you stay. It's all in like a big, there's like 3 different buildings, and they all have different like rooms in them, and it's kind of like a miniature apartment, you know, and you stay there for usually a week. They do it by week. And they offer like a water sports package where, because they run ski boats and tubing boats off the dock that's
fun.
here on the lake. So you can do that, and then they also offer meals 3 times a day and activities after dinner.
Okay,
So it's kind of just like you can participate if you want. You can eat there if you want. You know, it's kind of just like the minimum you can do is stay in one of the condos.
So you just sign up for the activities that you enjoy, and you can do it with your family or with kids or all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of kids and also a lot of parents. Like, they do have also some more separate-ish activities. Like, they have a skiing session that's just for adults so that it's not little kids falling all the time.
Well, it sounds super fun. Have you been listening to the show?
I have been. I paused it when I called you guys so that I wouldn't be all off.
Well,
But
did you want to?
Yeah, I have been.
Did you want to comment on anything you've been listening to?
Did you guys get up to the biting bullies question?
No, we can do that while you're on the phone. With if that one is particularly to your taste, we can do it now. Johnny B writes, "Is it bad to bite bullies like they were being mean and getting in my face and rubbing their hands in my face, and I bit them?" And it's like, part of me is like, go Johnny, but then the other part of me is like, you don't want to get hepatitis.
Wait, does B stand for Bravo in his name? Do we know?
I don't
if
know.
he's Johnny Bravo?
I
Because if
don't
it
know.
was, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
I was laughing so hard at this question. I read it and I just burst out laughing.
Okay, so go ahead, Maddie. Your thoughts?
You know, his first question, is it bad to bite bullies? I think without any context, yes.
They were rubbing their
But I
hands
mean-
in his face.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's kind of like a defense thing because, you know, if their hand is right there, and, you know, it's kind of like, you know, obviously, you know, try not to draw blood or anything, but I would just probably try to use your words instead of biting for the most part. But, I mean, if they were being aggressive in your face, then I don't really blame you.
Right, right. I just worry about biting because it's just not very sanitary. Montana.
You can bite bullies all you want, but be prepared to be treated like a dog. Because, I mean, like, that's the difference between people and dogs. People can, like, say, don't bother me, and dogs just kind of bite people.
They
So
also
if
have-
you want to be a dog,
we
that's
have
fine.
thumbs.
Oh, yeah, we also have thumbs. So,
Yeah, we have thumbs.
Yeah.
Q?
And auto insurance. Dogs don't.
Dogs don't have that, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it's probably not the best choice. Probably not the best thing you could do. Though if you're a bully, I don't think you should expect not to get bitten.
Well, yeah.
Just saying.
Good point.
But but I mean, it's probably not the best course of action. Try and talk to them and try and get them away from you and talk to an adult or something.
All right, go around the room here. Everyone's got their hands up. Pass it on, Q.
I would say you got to do what you got to do. Biting's not that sanitary, but if they're getting physical with you and you're telling them to stop, eventually you got to do something about it. You can't just keep saying, "Stop, guys, come on," while they hit you. Like, you got to do something about it. So, yeah, Olivia.
My brother went through a biting phase when he was 2, and it was like right when his teeth.
Yeah,
were,
Jake, show the teeth marks.
What? What?
You've been bitten by Max.
Yeah, I've been bitten by
Yeah.
him too. I have a scar right here from a tooth.
Some kid bit me
Yeah.
on my toe when I was little. Some kid I didn't even know, like at a play area. He bit my toe like really hard.
There was a day where we were, as the Palankers, we were all going, yeah, Max is a biter.
Yeah.
It was discussed.
It
Go ahead,
was-
Olivia.
It was bad, and then I guess he would go around birthday parties and bite kids.
Yeah.
And then he bit one kid that no one liked anyway, and no one did anything about it.
It's funny that, like, when you're frustrated, that's kind of like a go-to maneuver. You know, it's like instinctive, almost like the animal in us is just like, rawr. You know, like, I get it. He was 2.
Was anyone feeding him?
You guys fed him occasionally. You know, every week, whether he needed it or not. Who else had a hand up?
I'm up next.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the way I see it is if they're in your face and you bite them, good on you. I mean, I commend you. You're standing up for yourself. I don't say you should go. I'm not saying you should go and beat up people, like, if they're in your face. I'm saying if you feel as if they've crossed the line, you should feel okay defending yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting
Yeah, I mean, like, and then if that means biting the person, bite the person.
Rory?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, nobody messes with a crazy person, and even more, nobody messes with a cannibal. So if they invade
Yeah.
your personal space and you want to bite them,
Go all out. I say if you're going to bite, also snarl.
But be prepared
Make
to be
it good.
to have to bite again, because you might bite them and they might get really mad. Just be prepared.
Yeah. Liv? Liv?
You just also have to be prepared to get sick a lot because people do not wash their hands and it's gross.
Yep. Keo?
I don't like if there's I'm thinking back to like my elementary school days and like if there's a kid that I knew, even like I wasn't bullying them, but like I know that they bite people, I'm not gonna like try and so I'm like I don't want to encourage biting too much. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try and make friends with you if I know that you bite a lot. So like
Yeah, like, you know, Montana, to your point, you do approach that dog very carefully, right? Austin?
On the subject of no one messes with a crazy person, well, I have a concrete example of that. There was once a war going on, and there was this guy who was just playing bagpipes out in his underwear. And later, the soldiers were captured. They were asked why they didn't shoot him, and they said, "Oh, we thought he was crazy."
Nice.
No.
Montana?
No, he would just...
The other thing with biters, other people, like, especially if you're in, like, middle school or elementary school, people will take that as a challenge and bite you back. Don't be the one to start biting.
And you know what else? that
Unless
can-
you have to.
You know what else can happen, though?
What?
You bite one of these bullies, they go to a teacher or the principal and say, Johnny bit me.
Oh, then you're the bad guy.
And then you're
That
the
is a
bad
good point.
guy.
But now you're both werewolves, so
Yeah.
there's some...
Or zombies.
Or vampires. Okay, so Maddie, thank you so much. Please give my love to your family and Benji, you know, if he counts. And we will see you. When will you be back?
I will be back. Let's see. Not next week or the week after.
Okay,
but
very busy
so
schedule.
In like 2.5 weeks.
All right, we will look forward to that. Thank you so much for calling in. We love you. We are Our Place Out Loud. I am Louise Planker here with a panel of wise and wonderful kids. And 2 similar questions from Coolio Industry. How do you tell your mom you have a boyfriend? And from Chrissy, how do you date behind your parents' back? And so we're going to discuss a little, and then I want you guys to read Jenny's answer and Emily the Knowing's answer because those guys had some really good advice. So go ahead, Rory.
I thought you said it first. How do you tell your mom you're dating her boyfriend? That is what I thought you said it first.
No, I didn't say
That's
that.
another show, Rory.
It's a different convo. So, secret boyfriends. Good thing, bad thing? Who has thoughts? Yeah, I would think bad thing. Ryan or Olivia?
Olivia?
No, that's just like that's the worst thing because you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like your parents told you like you can't date until you're like 17. I mean, like that sucks, but you have to follow that rule.
All right, we've got a phone call. Let's see if they have any thoughts on this topic. Hello.
Hello,
Hello, who is this?
it's Country Boy 02.
Hey, how are you? Did you
Good.
have any thoughts on the current question or on a previous question or a question of your own?
Actually, I wanted to say thank you for the help that you gave me the other day on that long question.
Yeah, that was a long one. How's everything going?
It's going pretty good.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
And
yeah.
actually, with help from people on the app, I recently figured out that I'm bi.
I did notice that, and good for you. I'm really happy that does that bring you some clarity?
Yes, it is, because for some reason, on certain things, certain TV shows and certain pictures, I just sit there and stare at the men and didn't know why, and now I see why.
Well, that is amazing. It's growing up is just such a journey of discovery, and every time you turn a corner, you think, "Oh my gosh, what does this mean?" And at the end of the day, it just means that you're figuring out who you are, and whoever that is going to be amazing. And as long as you just accept that, then these discoveries don't have to scare you so much.
Yeah, at first I was a little, actually not a little, a lot unaccepting because of the environment I grew up in this small town, where all the guys, I grew up with are like, it made it seem like a bad thing to be gay or bi, and so I was kind of scared at first. And then as I talked with some other people who are like this too, outside of Kick, because they got, or outside of our place because they got kicked out or banned, I found, I got more and more comfortable with it.
You talked to people that got banned from our place?
Yes, Yes, I did, but it was before they got banned that I was talking to them.
All right. Well, usually people who get banned from our place are banned for a good reason. So, are you sure those?
It was like, but they still helped a lot. It was like, I don't even know what to say. I'm not good with my words.
No, I don't want you to tattle on anyone. I just want to be careful about who you're talking to on Kick.
Oh, it's
and I don't
fine.
want you talking to someone on Kick who's been banned because we thought they might be a pedophile or something like that.
No, it's not. It's not them.
Okay.
It's not anyone like that.
All right. I just want to make sure that you're safe.
Yes.
Because, a young boy who discovers that he's bi, he may be likely to look for help and support from people who pretend to be a young boy like yourself and might actually be a man. And I just want you to be really careful and never agree to meet somebody, offline without your parents present, okay?
When I first found out, I told my best friend Alex,
Mm-hmm.
and her, with her sense of humor, goes and sends me picture after picture after picture of Andy Bierzek from Blackville Brides, and he is actually a really good-looking man.
Uh-huh. Well, that sounds like the correct response to that kind of news is to actually have fun with it and, let you know that, not only do we love and support you, but you may enjoy these pictures of this.
Yeah.
Well, and also just good job seeing that the culture in the area you grew up in isn't exactly accepting of that, but that you still get to make your own decisions for like what you want to express and how you want to present yourself.
Yeah, and what you don't even realize, because you're still 14 years old, is that there's a lot of men in your town who are pretending to be straight and who are not actually straight. And
Well, actually, there is a gay male in my town. He's the only one that everyone knows of right now that is gay, and he's only a senior now, one of the two. But he's really funny, and I don't know. I noticed I like hanging around with the gay guys because one, they're funny.
they are very funny. Well, thank you. We have to jump off the phone and free up the phone line, but thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You have no idea how many people you're helping when you do this. You're helping.
That's what I like to hear. Thank you.
You're helping so many kids, Country Boy. We're so proud of you. I will see you in the app, okay?
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. So getting back to the question before Country Boy called, I wanted you, Ryan, to read Jenny's answer about secret boyfriends.
Don't do that. Terrible idea. It'll be stressful and affect your life negatively and won't be a good relationship. And then your parents will inevitably find out and never trust you again. Dating in secret does not turn out well.
Aaron, please read Emily the Knowing's answer, which one of the best answers I've ever read in the app from a kid.
All right. I agree with Jenny. I would tell your parents how you feel about him, but also listen to why they don't like him. They could have a good reason. If they say no, maybe you and the guy can just be close friends who both crush on each other until you're allowed to date.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. You should not extrapolate my parents say I can't date to mean I will never get to date. Your parents do want you to grow up and meet a nice person and be happy. Dating is inevitable. So I know that this year feels like forever when you're 13, but you can agree to like another person and just be crush buddies and just say, hey, we like each other, let's hang out, without defining it as the term that terrifies your parents, because that term means, uh-oh, she might have sex. And that's the short answer as to why the word boyfriend freaks out your parents. And as long as you can let them know that I respect myself and I know how to behave age appropriately, your parents will calm down. The main reason parents say no dating is because they are afraid you will engage in sexual activity before you are ready to do so. Who else? Montana, your hand was up.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but Jenny's answer was actually pretty good, and she's right. It does make things very stressful. Like, I've had a bunch of friends who date behind their parents' back, but the thing is, sometimes they're not always. I don't think the parents were always being fair and saying, "Oh no, you can't date till you're 20," or something like that.
Yeah, but whether or not the parents are being fair, it's like, do you really want to live a secret life?
Oh, yeah. No, so what I'm saying is, if you want to date behind your parents' back, good luck. It's going to suck.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, and that was a good poem. Kyo.
Oh, that almost rhymed.
I did.
Oh, yeah. That's basically exactly what I was going to say. It's not fun. Like, being in a relationship where you have to hide things is, like, not really fun. You want to be able to express yourself openly and share that you love this person.
Right. Do we have a phone call, Matthew? No, we don't? Olivia.
The other thing is, like, I mean, unless you're old enough to drive and you have your own car, like, you're never going to be able to see them, because what are you going to tell your parents? Like, you're hanging out with the same friend every single weekend, and then what if your parents call that person's parents and they're like, no, she's not here? You're going to be found out.
She's a he, so yeah.
That just happened to a friend of mine. She isn't allowed to date this guy because he's like a junior in college.
Oh my god.
And like,
yeah,
it's bad.
I would say so.
They found her car right in front of his house.
Yeah, not good. All right, next question. So we hear from Lucky Star. You're Lucky Star. My parents are homophobes. Like, my cousins came out, and it was my dad's favorite cousin. And when my cousin came out, they shunned him. They call it an abomination. They won't compromise, and I always feel down when they talk bad about being gay. I even asked my dad, if I was gay, what would you do? And he said, you wouldn't be my daughter. I don't know what to do because I am gay, and I can't do anything. I tried telling my mom, and she said it's just a phase. When this phase has been going on since I was 7, I need help. All my friends know except for my family. What should I do? And then before we get to this, please, who hasn't had a chance to read? Who wants to read? And the phone is ringing. Montana or Rory, why don't you read Anonymous's question? Because it's along the same lines. And so what we're talking about as we wind down the show is what to do with people who are intolerant of LGBT. Yes. Yeah, please.
All right, Wheezy, today my boyfriend and I were talking, and we stumbled upon talking about if one of our kids turned out gay. We're both young adults and are planning to have kids after college. He told me if that were to happen, he would try to change them into being straight. He's Christian and would not allow it. I disagreed with him and have him my reasons, because I'm not against gays or lesbians. We argued a little bit, but we soon stopped because we didn't want to start fighting. I feel so bothered by this. He's a great man, and I do see a future with him. How can I express to him that there's nothing wrong with being gay or lesbian and that he should love his child no matter what?
All right, so go ahead, Montana.
Before you, discuss having children, well, it's good that you brought this up, but you need to find out if he has any other, differences of opinion than you, because if you do, you probably or if they're this big, and your kid does turn out gay and he shuns it, you probably should think twice about having kids, especially right after college.
But see, it's probably not realistic to think twice about having kids. It's this is a symptom of larger differences down the road in terms of just the way they see the world. Rory.
Yeah, I have a friend who is actually the same way, where he's like, yeah, if I had a kid who's gay, I'd, like, disown him or something. And I would not marry that person. So luckily he's not a girl, I guess. But, to assume you're going to marry someone and have kids with them straight out of college and you have such a big disagreement on such a big thing, how do you think that's going to work? I would really think strongly about that and wait a while, because I don't really think you're mature enough to have kids yet or get married if you really are going to jump into that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I suggested is, like, if you know any gay people, bring them into your lives together and go for coffee, go for lunch, talk. Like, let him have more experiences outside of his household where he was taught that it was wrong to be gay. Like, maybe this kid is, about to have his mind stretched. And
yeah. I mean, you always hope that, they'll have a kid and they'll be like, oh, I have a kid now, I've changed. But,
do we have a phone call, Matt?
That's not always the case.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Colfer. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
How's the hubby?
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Speaking of hubby, we were talking about that in chat, and I just thought it was the funniest word ever.
Oh, I like the word hubby, too. Did you want to talk about the current topic, or do you have a thought on one of our previous topics?
I'm not really sure what y'all are talking about, because my phone is messing up, and I don't know what's going on.
Well, we read one letter from a girl whose father said he would disown her if she's gay, and she is gay, and he's just not accepting of gay people. And then we have another letter that we were talking about where a girl is thinking of marrying a boy who said that if they ever had a gay child, he would not allow that. Like, it's something that you could say, go to your room and ungay yourself until you come out. Don't come out until you're straight. It's a very straight room. It should straighten you, and then you can come out. Like, so how do you feel about people that are just generally speaking, for religious reasons or for whatever reason, just non-accepting of LGBT individuals? Like,
it's
how
not
should
their choice? They can't control the darn person.
Exactly. So what do you do if it's your parents or the guy you're about to marry? Like, what do you do? Because we have all kind of come up against these people in our lives and stuff like that.
If it's your parents, either they accept it or they don't accept it, and they just kind of leave you. I mean, it's one of those things.
Montana?
For the first one with Lucky Star, I feel really bad for you. If your parents may not accept it, as you said, like, they already said, oh, it's just a phase, and they disown you. Maybe you should tell them you're gay when you, like, move out or something, and try to come from a place of, like, I'm telling you this because I love you, and don't be aggressive about it. But I'm sorry if they don't accept it, and that's their loss for disowning a perfectly good daughter.
Yes, very well said. Kyo.
Yeah, I agree with Montana on your parents kind of be able to, like, be independent. It was like, that's kind of how I would go about it, and then tell them. But as far as your spouse not agreeing with you on the subject, if you really can't, like, agree or convince the person or get them to be open-minded at all, it's kind of a deal breaker to me. I mean, it's kind of just, you can't. Either that, or you just hope that you're really lucky and that you don't have to deal with that. But it's kind of shows different, like,
values.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan?
A lot of times the answer I kind of hear is it's their loss for being like that. And while that's true, that doesn't always help with the issue of what do I do?
It's my boyfriend, it's my parents, what do I do?
Exactly. And so you're in a tough position because right now, just the way it is right now we live in a world where sometimes you can't always have the opportunity to come out to your parents and enjoy life in the same way that you do right now. And so as much as this can be terrible and painful, sometimes you either have to say, I think this would really ruin my relationship with my parents, and I'm going to wait till I'm 18 to come out. Mm-hmm. Or you say, I really think it's worth it to come out and make a point of it and talk to my parents about it and work with them. But if you really, truly believe that your parents will distance their relationship with you and it'll ruin things in a bad way, I think it's safer to probably wait till you're 18, as painful as that can be.
All right, we're going to have to get off the phone, Mrs. Colfer. I wish we had more time to talk with you, and call again next week when we have more of a chance to talk with you. And I just want to add that she has come out to her mom, and her mom calls it a phase. So her mom's in denial. They know you're gay. And so just keep it to yourself until you're safely out of the house. But they know, and it will not come as a shock to them if you officially come out again at 18 or 21 or whenever you feel like. I know it's hard to live in a household where you feel like who I am is the person that they're not accepting, and I'm having to pretend I'm someone in order to live here and have peace of mind. But all things in good time. We are Our Place Out Loud. Thank you to a wonderful panel of kids this week, and go have some summer fun, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
I've been out there wandering, I've been in here wondering, hoping, reaching, wishing I could find my way, then I found